I hope you enjoy my stories. Instead of just clicking thumbs down, please comment and share how we can do better. If you do like our video, then please like and subscribe.
Alright, let me break it down for you.
So, I've been part of this neighborhood for quite some time now, and I've always had this nagging feeling that things with our HOA weren't quite on the up and up. You know how it is. There's always this group of board members who seem to revel in causing issues for certain residents.
It's like they get a kick out of it or something.
It's frustrating to witness, especially when it's clear they're not playing fair.
But then there's this one board member who takes the cake in the drama department. They're like on a whole other level of intensity. I mean, they practically set up shop outside one homeowner's place, just waiting for them to make the tiniest slip-up so they can hit them with fines or whatever. It's like they're on a mission or something, and it's seriously unsettling to watch.
You can't help but wonder, you know?
Like, what else are they doing when no one's looking?
It's not just about the fines and the drama anymore. It's about trust. Can we really trust these people to have our best interests at heart when they're pulling stunts like this? It's a valid concern, and it's been gnawing at me for a while now. I guess it all came to a head recently when things took a serious turn. This one board member, in their zealous surveillance, actually trespassed into a neighbor's backyard.
Can you imagine?
It's not just about causing trouble anymore. It's about invading people's privacy and making them feel unsafe in their own homes. My heart goes out to the homeowner and their family, especially their daughter, who got frightened by the whole ordeal. It's unacceptable, plain and simple.
But you know what they say about karma, right? It finally caught up with him. Last week, the authorities swooped in and arrested him on charges of felony stalking. It was a long time coming, and it brought a sense of relief to the entire community.
However, now we find ourselves in a bit of a pickle. With one board member out of the picture, suddenly there are 3 vacancies on the board.
It's like a game of musical chairs, except the stakes are much higher.
Elections are being hastily arranged for next month, and it feels like a chance for our community to hit the reset button.
Maybe, just maybe, we can usher in a new era of transparency and fairness.
It's something we desperately need, and I'm hopeful that we'll finally get it.
My first house was tucked within the confines of a homeowners association.
Now, I didn't quite understand the whole deal with HOAs at first, but soon enough, I learned the ropes.
The main figurehead of this HOA was this retired lady who used to work for the state.
Retirement seemed to have given her this newfound sense of power, like she finally had a chance to be in charge. You could see it in the way she carried herself, a bit too authoritative for my liking. It was as if being on the HOA board was her big moment to shine. She'd saunter through the neighborhood daily, like she owned the place, scrutinizing every detail with an eagle eye. You could practically feel her relishing in the opportunity to exert her authority. If there was a blade of grass out of place or a mailbox, a tad askew, she'd be on it like a hawk, ready to pounce on any opportunity to assert her dominance.
Now, don't get me wrong. I understand the need to maintain the neighborhood's appearance, but this lady took it to a whole new level.
It felt like she was on a mission to find faults, no matter how minor, just so she could flex her power. It was exhausting, really, having to constantly worry about whether my lawn was mowed to her standards or if my garbage cans were perfectly aligned. In hindsight, it was almost comical how seriously she took her role. But back then, it was more of an annoyance than anything else.
Living under the watchful gaze of the HOA's self-appointed guardian was definitely an experience, one that taught me to always read the fine print before moving into a neighborhood governed by such rules and regulations. Let me tell you about some of the absurdities with our Homeowners Association.
One time we received a fine because we left Easter window clings up for too long on a window that faced our backyard.
Can you believe it?
Apparently they didn't quite fit the aesthetic the HOA had in mind.
Then there was the incident with our jet ski. We parked it in the driveway for a few hours to give it a good cleaning, and lo and behold, we received a letter the next week, stating that we couldn't park it overnight.
Thing is, we weren't planning on it anyway. It was just a temporary thing, but apparently even that wasn't allowed. But the absolute best one was when they tried to fine us for supposedly moving our fence.
See, when we bought the house brand new, it was the last one built in the neighborhood. During the construction process, we had a chat with the foreman, and he kindly agreed to extend the backyard fence as far as he could to the property line, which happened to be the curb of the street.
Fast forward 5 years, and we get a letter claiming we'd shifted the fence.
Can you imagine?
Luckily, we had the paperwork to prove that the builder had done it for us, so they had to backpedal on that one.
Dealing with the HOA could be a real headache sometimes.
It felt like they were constantly on the lookout for any little thing to nitpick about. But hey, it was all part of the homeownership experience, I guess. Let me tell you about my time on the HOA board. It was quite the ride.
After dealing with the ridiculous fines and regulations for a few years, I decided to join the board myself.
And to spice things up even more, I took the lead on the architectural review board. It was my chance to push back against their overbearing rules. Whenever the president of the HOA wanted to slap someone with a fine, I'd be there to argue against it. I made sure to challenge every little thing they wanted to enforce. And you know what?
It worked more often than not.
With me on the board, decisions became split, and the president failed in her attempts to impose fines left and right.
As the head of the review board, I took a rather lenient approach.
Anything people wanted to do to their property, I approved it. Cactuses in the front porch planting area?
Approved. An awning that clashed with the house?
No problem, approved.
I wanted to give people the freedom to make their homes their own, without unnecessary interference.
Eventually, though, I had to step down from the board.
My kids' lives were getting busier, and I had to prioritize my time accordingly.
But even after I left, the impact of my time on the board lingered. People had gotten used to a bit more freedom, and they weren't about to let go of it easily. I've since moved away, but I still hear from friends who live in the neighborhood. They tell me about all the things that would never have been allowed under the current regime. It's a small victory knowing that I made a difference, even if it was just for a little while.
We bought our house, built it during the pandemic, finally moved into our lovely little not even finished neighborhood in 2021.
At the end of 2022, all of the houses were finished. Along comes our HOA. We'd been paying our $35 a month. For well, honestly, nothing.
No, seriously, our community have jack shit.
Roads city takes care of.
We have a retention pond. City does that. There is lawn care, but not our personal. It's kinda like, a small strip in the front, which as owners we are not allowed to enter forbidden zone.
And of course this monstrosity of a sign saying what our little area is called.
It's awful and ugly AF. We elected yes/no quorum, and some people from the same house voted 2x, a board of overseers. It gets better.
So Hubs and I said, F this noise, stopped paying fees, and said when you can show us what we are paying for, we'll pay. They couldn't.
The budget was messed up, and our management company literally ran the board.
Made them sign NDAs. I'm not joking. I was like, WTF, y'all stupid.
So the board didn't put out any information. None. We had no meetings because the VP wanted to hold the management to the fire and make them attend, so he wouldn't hold a meeting unless management was there. Yeah, I shit you not.
Making us as homeowners not able to hold any kind of meeting. Whenever we did have a meeting, brought up 3 times motions to disband the HOA. It's in our CC&Rs, we can do so, it was gaffed off.
Not put in minutes, etc. So Hubs and I pay our back fees, etc.
Decide, okay, maybe we need to get an attorney, we haven't. Yet. It gets worse, suddenly without a vote, our CC&Rs dictate, our fee is raised to $90 a month.
Out of the blue?
No reason given.
Said landscaping was too expensive.
No one is getting their lawn done. We do our own BTW at the end.
Only the front part is to be done.
And there is no grass, just mulch.
Then, a couple months later, we get a new management company.
Again. No vote, again against CC&R.
By the way, no meetings have been held.
Now a week ago we have a meeting.
And lo and behold.
Elections are up.
First time since the board was set in place.
Been over 2 years, by the way. And we didn't meet quorum. And the president had a letter sent to all houses saying, if you are not coming, I'll be your proxy, WTF.
That is not how this is run.
So yeah, about 5 of 41 homes showed up.
Couldn't elect new board members.
The VP put out that if no one runs, an attorney will need to be hired to run the board, which is straight bull.
Move forward to last night.
Suddenly, and without electing anyone, as in, there was no meeting, etc.
All positions are filled.
Yes. Another CC and R and by law violation. I can't even. It's like the Wild West, but on the East Coast over here. I told hubby we are just gonna hire an attorney to get our property out of the HOA to really mess with them. Sorry about the crazy format the first time I posted.
But F my HOA, they literally just do what they want how they want without any repercussions.
Let me preface the HOA. Here has a really good legal team and they hide behind it.
43 owners between 4 separate buildings. Bought my condo in April of 2022. Dues are $10.85 month.
June of 2022, get hit with a $13K assessment and given 4 months to pay it. Having spent my nut to buy, I couldn't pay it.
They send me notice they intend to file a lien. Then I find a bank that will do a loan and paid it.
January of 2023, dues go to $16.25 month. March of 2023 comes another $900 assessment for a storm shutter on my front door.
I struggled to pay the new dues and assessment depleted my funds, and then they dropped dues to $12.50 month in July of 2023. By then, it was too late.
I was tapped out due to a lack of hours and it being off-season, and just started making payments as I could to the HOA. Then 3 months later, another notice of intent to file a lien.
Luckily, my father bailed me out and put the balance due on ACC he wasn't using. Crisis averted.
January 24 dues go up to $12.85 month.
I have not been able to pay January or February, so another lien notice is incoming, and there is no bailout from a bank or family this time.
I offered payments and they declined.
So we'll see what happens.
I've been back and forth with them since the $13K assessment regarding the projects on other buildings that I'm essentially footing the bill for. For instance, another building now needs the entrance walkways, used as front porches for some units, redone to the tune of nearly $25K. They're dividing that up by all owners, not just the owners in that building. So I'm footing a portion of that bill in my dues that are due. I started a Facebook page a while back and made numerous posts on it and other locals pages about the HOA being scum, scourge of the earth, etc. The president said he took it personally and I said it wasn't directed at anyone in particular. But hey, if the shoe fits, strap that bitch on and wear it.
The monthly meetings are Zoom only and held at 12 noon on weekdays, making it near impossible for working folks like me to attend.
The annual meeting is in a few days, and I'm told the HOA will be switching to A dues based on size of unit plan. So those smaller units in the first 2 buildings, which need the repairs, and which are overall larger buildings than buildings 3 and 4, will pay less, and I have to pay more towards something I get no use of. That makes 0 sense to me.
It's criminal what they are allowed to do, but I digress. I'm pretty sure the old owner knew the assessment was coming and failed to disclose it. I have no proof though, so it is what it is.
I would like to thank you for watching the video to the end. To encourage us to make more videos, please like, subscribe, comment, as well as share. Check out this other video if you haven't already.